So for this painting exercise, we are just picking the colors that make us happy and splattering them on the paper. And then taking whatever writing utensil you would like and tracing out the shapes.
What I really meant was blotting. Even though I started out shading in the shapes, I realized that's not what I wanted to do. During this process, I want you to know that it's okay to change your mind on what you are doing because the process is just about you being able to kind of calm your conscious mind and see what's going on in your subconscious and what's been going on in the background. I really love these activities because you can just take the time to decompress and kind of go through your day versus just waking up and having a million things on your mind and then also going to sleep and still having a million things on your mind and starting the next day and it's just piling up on you. You really get to take the time to spend time with yourself in a different format, which is always nice. I think we miss out on spending time with ourselves. I know we're so easily thinking about spending time with others and talking with others that we kind of miss that we're also important too to spend time with just ourselves and alone. This can also be done as a group activity, so you still get that connection with others, but you're also still taking the time to go within and know what's going on with you, and also getting to allow others to go within and it be a community effort to kind of know what's been going on all around you all. You all may find that the things that you're struggling with are very similar or things are very different, and one person may be versatile and really help you in that area that you're struggling with, and the part that they may be struggling with is an area that you're very strong in. So it can kind of be this play for play thing where you're helping one another in a way that you may not have thought that you could have helped someone, and then now you have the help that you have been looking for the entire time because you are all willing to open up enough and discuss what's going on behind the scenes. And I feel that this is really important because we don't take enough time to know what's going on beyond the surface level. So, how can we really get to the nitty gritty if we don't take that time to do that? So, this is the perfect opportunity for everyone to kind of get on the same page and really go deeper than just the surface level of our emotions and feelings and kind of know what's been creeping up from behind the veil. We have spent a lot of our life ignoring ourselves in order to make other people happy and please them and do what we feel we have been called to do, to live a certain lifestyle or to bring up a certain type of image of ourselves. And it has made us be so disconnected with ourselves that the real us is buried so deep within that if the real us came out, we wouldn't know it if it smacked us on the behind. Like, we are so out of tune and out of touch, and we think that the way that we're being and the habits that we have and our understanding and our view of the world is ours, but it's really not. Place a big portion of ourselves to the side in order to have connection and other people's approval, whether we agree with it or not. But that is just how we have all been conditioned and raised. And as a child, we learn to do that. And it's not our fault or anything, but now it is time for us to take back our power and just really get to know us for us without depending on other people's approval or seeking connection. Because a lot of times, the connection that we may seek is not the connection that is meant for us. If we aren't able to be our full selves outright and show all of our emotions, because that's our authentic self, then you know that that connection is not for you. And as a child, we couldn't really do that with our caregivers because we were dependent on them. And now we have grown up to be dependent on that connection with everyone because that's just the way that our brains have been wired. Now we have the opportunity to recondition ourselves where we are not associating not having this certain connection as being dangerous and being fearful of not having other people's approval. Because we have spent a lot of time with a dysregulated nervous system. And especially if you grew up in a home that was traumatizing, or your parents didn't really have the money for things, or you know, it just wasn't an ideal life, that has caused the nervous system to feel threatened by literally almost any and everything. And it has put us in a hypervigilant state. So now our body is working overtime, which is why a lot of us feel so stressed and full of anxiety or depressed, which is not the normal way for a human to be living, because these emotions are there to alert us when we're in actual danger. But a lot of times, the danger is not there for real. So now our body is stuck in a state where we're not able to relax or kind of take a breather. And when we're stuck in that state, that means our digestive system isn't working properly. You can't really think to the highest capacity that you should be able to think to. So you're kind of making split decisions about everything, and everything is triggering you. So you're thinking at a lower level versus kind of seeing the bigger picture of things. You're very bogged down in details. And that is not a life to live, because life is more than just the details all the time. Life is more than just this second, this day. Like, you want to be able to have a mind that can think to the long term and the short term, because you'll be able to see things more, you'll have a lot more insight, is what I'm trying to say. And life will be worth living versus I feel like everything bad is happening to me. This here is just a phase of our existence, and it's a phase to be thankful for every single part, because it is teaching us more about ourselves and more about every phase of existence that we will continue to be in. The transcendence of this body is not death in the actual way that a lot of us have learned about it and think about it. It's not anything to be afraid of. If anything, I would say that transcendence of the body is a beautiful gift to keep us living life to the fullest for this phase of our existence. It is there to let us know that all things come to an end, and while you are here, enjoy what it is that you are experiencing. Take what you can from it, and to realize that this too shall pass. Nothing is forever in this same state and sense. There's always going to be change. So, knowing that you're not always going to feel those low feelings of anxiety and depression and, stress. You're not always going to feel upset and angry and sad. You're not always going to feel, the happiness, the joy, the peace. That is also beautiful in itself, because the spectrum of things allows you to be appreciative of each and every moment, to know that I always have something forward to look to. I always have a greater understanding of things because of this experience. The experience is not me. I get to decide who I am, regardless of what experience I have. I get to move forward in the way that I see fit, regardless of what I've been through. I get to define what is of importance to me, regardless of what may have happened in the past, regardless of who my family is, regardless of where I grew up, regardless of what people think about me, regardless of how I may feel about myself in this moment. It doesn't matter because I am the deciding factor, not anything else outside of me, just me. And this type of activity allows you to kind of come back into oneness with yourself and really understand that life is more than just the moments of the stress, the worrying, the anxiety, the depression, the sad feelings, the bad things, quote unquote, that may happen to us, the circumstances that we would not like to be in. We are able to really appreciate and enjoy all of it because we know that one day there will be a new phase, there will be a new type of existence, there will be a new way of viewing things from the vantage point that we are at. And we may look back on the things that we experienced, whether we deem them good or bad, in a way where it's like, oh, this is really preparing me for my next moment, whether I didn't like it at that time, but it really helped me to understand, this happy experience for me or understand what I was called to do in this next phase. I would also like to share that no emotion is good or bad. They just are. You are allowed to feel every range of emotion because emotions are just giving us information. They happen unconsciously, we have no control over them because our senses are constantly scanning our environment to let us know what is for us and what is not for us, what we should move towards and what we should move away from. And when we allow ourselves to feel our emotions fully and be present and be in our body, we are able to extract the information that the emotion is bringing up to us that we cannot consciously be aware of all the time because we take in so much information. If we were to consciously be aware of all the information that we take in, it would be an overload to us and it would make us work a lot harder. So when there's something that we haven't quite caught on to and had the awareness of, an emotion arises because that gets us to act very swiftly and it changes our demeanor about things and it causes our brain to activate our fight or flight system and let us know that, something has changed, something is different, something may be a little bit off, and we need to kind of zone in on this right now to see if this is a situation that we would like to be in, to see if this is something that we would like to move forward on or that this is something that is not right for us, so we won't continue to go down that path. And that's all emotions are. Emotions are for us. Emotions are there to really guide us in life on the path that we should be on. And they are really our friends. Many of us as children were not taught emotional intelligence. We were not taught how to really manage our emotions or what they mean or what they might be bringing up. A lot of times we were taught to repress our emotions and ignore them and kind of not feel them in order to make other people comfortable. So now as adults, we have relied on these defense mechanisms that no longer serve us and is now causing us a lot more harm than good because The longer that we continue to repress our emotions and avoid them, that comes with at a cost, especially for our bodies. So what I mean by it comes at a cost is now your nervous system is going to continue to be dysregulated and more things are being piled on that is going into your subconscious. And now you can easily be triggered by any and everything. And you'll continue to live out your life in the same way, continue to have the same experiences because your brain is always scanning that way. If you enjoyed my video, subscribe, comment, and like for more. Thank you.